talked to my friend who is an NFL Writers Association of Pro Football Writers Association of America member. He's working on a piece for a very well-known publication right now. He spoke to 4 NFL GMs between last night and this morning. My conversation with him went like this. He called me. I didn't call him. He's like, I've talked to 4 NFL GMs. I'm working on a piece about the draft. I figure this information might be useful for you when you do your draft stuff tonight for Woodward Sports. I said, okay, do tell. The consensus he got from the NFL GMs that he talked to, I'm not reporting this. It's not my story. But I trust the source that it comes from. So you guys, look, if you're watching this around Allen Park or whatever, I'm not reporting this as journalism, so don't treat it as such.
Right.
I'm just telling you a conversation that I had that I think is very interesting, and I have not heard from anybody else. The GMs he spoke to this morning, his conversation suggests that the Detroit Lions are very much invested at interior offensive line.
Which is how I broke it down and which makes sense to how it's aging and how they use it. So Spenny said, agreed to versatility, right?
Yeah.
Which is good. But I think if the guy that they want is there, I think he might be available at that position at that spot if they choose to pick a 28.
Is there any particular names?
Yeah. I mean, and look, like, you guys know that when you're talking interior offensive line, you basically know where that sits.
Right.
Right? I mean, we know the names that are going to be up there. And it's interesting to me because I'd be curious to see how they have them ranked within the organization.
Yeah.
And it's interesting because what it sounds like the Lions would do is something that wouldn't surprise us, right? Gray Zabel is one of the names, the interior guy from North Dakota State. And the reason is that I was told the Lions are big on him. He is a true 5-tool interior offensive line. What does that mean? He can literally play any position
From tackle to tackle.
From tackle to tackle on the offensive line and play it at a high level. There were questions about him, why he's not going higher. There were questions about him in the competition level because he was at North Dakota State. When he showed up at the senior operations,
Senior Bowl, yeah.
Senior Bowl for the NFL, he answered all those questions.
Yeah.
And was putting people in different spots. So, again, that's where it is. And DMAC, it doesn't surprise me because when you recreate that, is there more of a fit than Gray Zabel for the Lions organization based on Brad Holmes and based on what they do? The versatility, the high level. You take him, and Spenny, you know how we talked about they're not at a point where they're taking starters?
Yeah.
I think a Gray Zabel pick
He's a day one.
Is a day one potential to be a starter and is a hell of a good insurance policy in case somebody goes down, DMAC. We've seen it.
100 million%. Right? To the factor of what do I think about? I always think about on defense, but isn't he like a Malcolm Rodriguez-ish more valuable on the other side of the ball? But Spenny says, it's versatility that they need, and obviously, if you can play with the big boys, or at least they think you can, because maybe the question mark against you is your competition. But then, really all you really need is how you line up against the Senior Bowl guys and stuff like this, and then you get a great understanding. And the understanding is, like you said, we're not talking about the Aiden Hutchinsons and drafting the guys that you can't miss at the top of the draft. We're talking about guys. We're talking about how do you win with the ancillary players. What did we just get done talking about in the Pistons segment about, there's always that game where the dog's got to shine, where somebody's got to come out and do something good, right? So this guy fits all the check marks.
The other name that the Pistons are huge on, or the other name that the Lions are huge on, is Tyler Booker. which of course there are a lot of teams
Right.
that are big on
Arguably the
Tyler
best
Booker.
prospect at that position.
Again, rock solid interior offensive lineman.
Well,
Those are
Alabama-
the two names.
Alabama, so
Right.
he's Alabama. Like, you're talking about two different,
Yeah.
competition levels or whatever that. But again, I'm sure a lot of teams, he's high up on the board of everybody too.
So
Stuff like that. I think. What was the name of the guy you said? The other guy,
Gray's
Abel.
Grace Abel. I think that that's who I would probably say if I had to pick a guy right now. Fix all
So
the
Neil,
characters.
that would indicate to me that they're not trading up.
like how.
Well,
many-
I wouldn't dismiss that
Okay.
because again, I think this is going to be board dependent. Where does Booker go? I've seen Booker everywhere.
Yeah.
In mocks. I mean, I've
That's
seen him.
what
I've seen him in the low teens. I've seen him
Yeah.
in the 30s.
Yeah.
Like it's really a wild card. Now, again, the conversation I had this morning, the NFL GMs said that they expect really, really good players to fall in the draft because of, quote, some of the dumb teams picking early, unquote. So
Yeah.
no
lies
again,
detected.
no lies detected. There's been a lot of chatter too about teams that are towards the back end of the first round that are more than willing and laying the foundation discussions to slide up into the early 20s.
There's another thing on the Gray Zabel factor that a lot of people don't factor in or haven't heard, but Hank Fraley's son plays with Gray Zabel at North Dakota State.
Oh shit.
Yes, and
Hank Fraley's son plays at North Dakota State.
IT Hips in the super chat. I'd bet money the Lions move up a few spots to get Zabel. Like you said, seems like a perfect fit. And don't forget, he played with Hank Fraley's son at North Dakota
Yeah.
State as well.
I didn't know that.
Broder's in the
He
chat.
played next to Hank Fraley's son plays center at North Dakota State.
Yeah,
so,
that's telling.
Yeah.
Broder's in the chat. The former
Shout
North
out.
Dakota State University offensive coordinator is now on the Lions staff as a tight ends coach as
Holy
well.
Shit.
So, again, when you start putting this together,
It makes
and the
sense.
GMs are pretty unilateral on this, that the Lions love Gray Zabel.
It tracks.
A lot
And
of
it-
people love Gray Zabel. I've seen him go to the Seahawks a lot. That one makes a lot of sense to me too.
It tracks.
I think Gray Zabel is the best interior offensive line prospect in this draft. I think he's by far the best pass blocking interior offensive lineman in this draft. So
gotta keep
you're
off
gonna
it.
you're probably gonna have to move up if you want to get Gray Zabel.
And
Maybe not by much though. Probably a few spots.
We'll see. Like I said, I see the Seahawks getting him a lot. I think they're at 18.
Yeah.
Woodward
see
Sports chat thread, Hoof-Hearted. I've seen Zabel mock to the 49ers at 11 sometimes, which is kind of wild. But see, like, here's the deal. Guys, remember, this isn't gospel. It's board dependent.
And this draft is after like the top 10 prospects. It's kind of a shit show. Like there's a lot of guys, basic from like 15 to like 35. It's a very close group of talent.
Let me ask this question, right? Because you see that in all the mock drafts or whatever, the inconsistency or where some guys have, some guys down, like you said, Spenny, in the like late first, early second, or they're higher up. So nobody has it. The top first 10,
Yeah.
right? Because teams got to know what they want. But what did your friend say, Neil? That one of those teams is going to F it up ahead of you. So you
Yeah,
never
like
know what's
more or less,
available?
they're banking on
And
teams.
that usually happens. If the top ones don't, wins Cleveland. Whatever like that. But then
Makes
usually
sense.
between 10 and 20, because that's one of the things about picking late, like where the Lions are. You get to see the whole field,
Right.
how it shakes out. So
I think
he's-
they'll have to trade up pretty significantly if they want Gray
no,
Zabel,
I'm
honestly.
down with. I'm down, and these options I know Brad Holmes knows.
Yeah.
Right. So who was there a second?
Yeah, I mean, the Tyler Booker discussion.
Right.
But was there a second position, or was it?
No,
offense?
they were all steadfast that the Lions will
So
take
it's
an offensive line.
steadfast.
So, and again, like, that's according to NFL GMs.
Right.
From a person that I trust a lot.
And I know,
So,
I know who they're getting at 60.
Yeah.
Woodward Sports chat thread.
Good
I'm
call.
salty. No shot. We have a chance to get Zabel at 28. He's gone top 15.
I agree.
Then he's
Maybe
not.
top
then he,
15,
but then he's not the pick.
Yeah, I
Like-
agree that he will not be there at 28, but I
So-
don't think he's top 50.
So do you think they would do offensive linemen regardless? Let's say Zabel and my man's is off the board,
No.
Booker.
No.
Okay, so then they would switch course. maybe go
If-
edge.
Unless they have somebody,
Right.
you know,
If Greg
highly graded.
Sable's there, he's the best player available. That would be
But see, guys, like we have to think about this too. I think one of them is going to make it to the Lions because look at all the teams that need tackles.
Yeah.
You have to have a tackle. Like,
yeah, I think Booker will be there.
yeah, like the Bengals. Don't they have to take a tackle?
They got to take an edge.
Yeah, they defense is trashed.
But you put all this
They need
money into that
offensive line,
offense,
too,
man.
yeah.
It's got to work. Like when you start reconstructing it, man, like are the Steelers going to take an interior offensive lineman?
No.
No, you just start
I wouldn't be surprised.
checking down the
They
list.
need a
taking
quarterback.
Jackson Dart.
Yeah, they need a quarterback, but yeah, I wouldn't be surprised though.
I got the gut
Giants are
feeling.
taking Jackson Dart at 3.
Please.
But if we get the running quarterbacks, that's predicted too. I mean, it very well could happen. Somebody could fall to you.
I could see Booker dropping. I could not see Greg Sable dropping.
I'm salty. You want to give up all that capital to move up for him? I'm salty. When did I say that? If they got to jump 6 spots, they'll do it.
Yeah.
They're not going into the teens to get them because the price gets infinitely higher.